Happening now, President Biden condemning the racist attack on a Western New York grocery store. We look at the new push in D.C. today to take action. And officials in Jamestown hear the plans to build a first-of-its-kind Tim Hortons location. Plus, the push raising awareness about Tourettes in our community. The story of a Kennedy teen living with a disability.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
Thanks for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. Our latest local news is coming up, but first let's get a check of our weather forecast. Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter joining us today. Great to see you once again, my friend, and you're bringing some pretty great news weather-wise too.
Yes, it is nice to see you back, Justin, after a couple of days away. And boy, it is a nice day out there. You can see from the Randolph Beaches and Cream Skycam, we got lots of blue sky with some of these clouds moving on in. And you can see on the satellite composite, we're starting to see some of these clouds streaming on in. So the clouds are going to thicken up through the afternoon hours, and then we are going to get into some rain showers. You can see a couple of it across, basically just across the banner there across Ontario. So we are going to see rain showers later this afternoon. But we topped out at 56 yesterday. It was a cold start to the day. 37 here in town, 87 and 26 are the records. So through the afternoon, partly to mostly sunny, clouds will start to increase. Then we get into some scattered showers later on in the day. 58 at the immediate Lake Erie water to 67. Well, inland, now the humidity and heat really ticks up as we go into the end of the week, plus maybe some strong storms for the weekend. We'll talk about it with that Ultimate Satellite Solutions 7-day forecast later on in the show. Justin?
Yeah, definitely information that you're tracking that we'll all need to know about in just a bit. See you then, Dakota. Well, evil came to Buffalo. That was the message from President Joe Biden during yesterday's visit to the city of good neighbors, voicing that American evil will not win. The president and first lady visited the site of Saturday's mass shooting, where 10 people were killed, paying their respects. Mike Valero is there with the latest.
This venom, this violence cannot be the story of our time. We cannot allow that to happen.
President Biden condemning hate in America, visiting the site of Saturday's mass shooting and honoring the 10 lives cut short in a Buffalo grocery store.
So to the families, from your pain, may we find purpose to live life worthy of the loved ones you lost.
After meeting victims' families, the president conceding there's limited action left that he can take on gun reform via presidential executive action.
Not much on executive action. I've got to convince the Congress that we should go back to what I passed years ago. It's going to be very difficult, but I'm not going to give up trying.
Buffalo's mayor says the president's visit has made him hopeful for change.
The president didn't hurry through those meetings, didn't rush through the people that were hurting and in pain, and spent a lot of time individually with families. There was talk about what could be done to end these mass shootings. The president seemed very moved by what he saw here in this community.
In Buffalo, New York, I'm Mike Valerio.
Mike, thank you. Back here at home, a Jamestown man is behind bars after he was allegedly busted with drugs and a stolen handgun during a traffic stop this week. City of Jamestown police stopped a vehicle for an alleged traffic violation on Kingsbury Street at around 11 o'clock Monday morning. Following an investigation, it's alleged that the vehicle's passenger, later identified as Bartlett, was found in possession of fentanyl, a digital scale, .22 caliber long rifle bullets, as well as a revolver, later found to be stolen from Fredonia. Bartlett faces several charges and was remanded to Chautauqua County Jail following arraignment. And a popular summertime concert series on Chautauqua Lake has officially been postponed after relocating from Mayville's Lakeside Park. Earlier this year, we told you that the Chautauqua Lake Pops announced their plan to relocate out of the village of Mayville. The reason? Officials cite the lack of cooperation, trust, and financial support from the community. Last summer, concert organizers were sued in an effort to halt the production there. After a search this spring, concert founder Dan Darplet wrote in a statement that he hopes his group will be able to resume in 2023 after postponing programming this year as they are continuing to search for a location. He previously told us that the group is going to try to keep the program on Chautauqua Lake, however, are looking for a home around the region too. Nevertheless, wherever the Pops relocate to, the founder says they need to have a substantial sponsor to fund this series, as the pandemic has been financially difficult. Jamestown Public Schools' $93.8 million spending plan was approved by local voters last night. Among the major pillars of this budget includes additional support for student mental health services. The district officials say the global pandemic brought many stressors to students, stressors that are still felt today, which is why the plan to hire additional staff is needed. The allocated academic funding would also hire additional teachers district-wide, reading teachers at elementary schools to close the gap in reading standards, which they say the pandemic created, as well as additional high school teachers to lower the class-to-student ratio. In addition to the budget, which features a 0% tax increase, voters also approved a proposition that establishes a $5 million capital improvement reserve fund and a line item to create a vehicle, machinery, and equipment reserve fund. Voters also okayed the purchase of a property on Chandler Street, which will provide additional parking at the high school. Well, the first of its kind Tim Hortons build was revealed by the Jamestown Planning Commission yesterday, with the project now awaiting for the official okay before construction can get underway. Our Alyssa Wright joins us live in the newsroom today with more on the plans ahead. Alyssa?
Justin, the proposed Tim Hortons location, which is set to open on Washington Street in Jamestown if approved, will feature some never-before-seen characteristics as opposed to the locations that are currently in operation.
The positive thing about this building, with it being an 880, is that we're able to really run it a lot more efficiently than other stores.
This new store will offer 2 drive-through lanes, 1 service window, a walk-up window, and will offer outdoor seating on a patio area. What really sets this location apart from the others is the lack of indoor seating.
The proposed store is an 888 square foot drive-through only restaurant.
This location will have 2 drive-through lanes in hopes to keep a steady flow of customers and avoid traffic on the main road.
That's going to be one of the first questions we're asked every time, is about the stacking. So we want to make sure that we get as many cars on this lot as we can before, obviously we don't want to impede on the roads.
Not only will this new location be a convenient place to grab a cup of coffee, it would also bring more jobs to the area.
I would say peak hours, we're going to have 5 or maybe 6 people on the staff total at our peak time. So, overall, it's probably going to be a 15 to 20 person team roster at that location.
The next planning session is set to take place in June, where the location may receive approval to begin the next phase, construction. Live in the newsroom, Alyssa Wright, WNY News Now.
Alyssa, thank you. As WNY News Now continues this half hour, the latest push in Randolph to honor an Iraq war hero killed in action. And later, an update on a fatal medical helicopter crash in our region. We're digging into the report issued by federal investigators. Stay with us. WNY News Now will be right back after this.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
Welcome to Honest John's Pizzeria, where you are the most important customer.
Everything from freshly made subs to the best of pizza and wings, Honest John's has it all.
And don't forget the ice cream!
Order online today or check out our 2 great locations with buffets ready for every appetite.
Don't I have the best job in the world?
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
Chautauqua County is in dire need of child care providers, and we need your help. The Chautauqua Child Care Council is hosting several special webinars to help you enter the child care industry. Setting up a child care program is easier than you think. It could start in your home, caring for a few children, or grow into a large operation at a daycare center. If financials are a challenge, no worries. The New York State Office of Children and Family Services is offering a grant opportunity to help you get started.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
Route 394 in the town of Randolph will be renamed in honor of an Iraq War hero. New York State Senator George Borrello announced that legislation renaming the roadway Staff Sergeant David Texter Memorial Highway has passed the state Senate. A Randolph High School grad, Texter served in the U.S. Army's 3rd Battalion, 1st Special Forces Airborne. He earned a coveted Green Beret in November of 2006. Texter was killed in action on July 15, 2008, while conducting combat operations in Iraq. Now, under the eye of Assemblyman Joseph Giglio, Borrello tells us the act is expected to pass in the Assembly before heading on to Governor Kathy Hochul for her signature into law. The North American Hockey League announced yesterday that the Jamestown Rebels have been sold and will be relocating to New Jersey. That's according to an announcement by the league. The team was sold to new ownership and will play their home games out of the Hollydale Ice Arena, 15 miles south of downtown Philadelphia, in Washington Township, New Jersey. The team relocated from Philly originally in 2018 and have since spent the past few seasons playing here at Jamestown at the Northwest Arena. The Jamestown Rebels finished this season by making the playoffs, but eventually ended up losing in the divisional championship to the New Jersey Titans. The rising costs of food, gas, housing, and more are hitting many in their pockets especially hard. But there's one group of adults that are struggling significantly. That's the older population. WNY's Marcia Augustin with services for older New Yorkers who might need a little bit of help.
It's one of the biggest challenges, right? As things increase and people, their incomes aren't increasing when you're on a fixed income. So how do we help them?
Beth Stranges is the director for the Chemung County Office of the Aging. They offer services for anyone 60 and over that need help with retirement or services such as healthcare, housing, and mental health. She says many on a fixed income are going through tough times. What they are making isn't meeting their needs.
So there's a lot of homelessness right now. So I think people are desperate, and they're gonna do what they need to do to keep their house, keep their home, and but we're here to provide resources, that are legal resources.
Another challenge they are dealing with on a day-to-day basis is food insecurity. She says it's affecting their younger populations as well as the aging. They are seeing a lot more individuals inquiring about food benefits.
SNAP benefits, or what is this benefit? Maybe people that would have never applied before, right? Because there's a lot of individuals that, these benefits are really here for you, but a lot of people don't know how to do it, don't know the process.
Transportation is the latest thing they are providing an increased assistance. With climbing gas prices, some may have to forego their medical appointments because it's become too expensive. Beth tells me it's why they are stepping in to help.
If they can't afford the gas, how can they get to the doctor's office? And they don't have the funds to keep filling their gas tank if they do, if they do have a vehicle to get there. So, we offer transportation assistance.
There are many services and programs the Office of the Aging provides to help you make ends meet. They work with the Department of Social Services, housing authorities, and voucher systems, including a new farmers market coupon, which begins in July.
Marcia, thank you. Such important resources to share. Well, a preliminary accident report is shedding more light on the fatal medical helicopter crash in western New York last month. According to the National Transportation Safety Board, the Mercy Flight helicopter was out for an earlier flight that day and returned with no issues before taking off from the Genesee County Airport in Batavia around 11 o'clock on April 26th. The report details several eyewitness accounts, one indicating the helicopter was almost stationary at one point before the eyewitness heard a loud bang as it started to fly away. The helicopter then began to descend out of control. Other eyewitnesses report the helicopter fell apart, with those on the ground hearing a whooshing noise from the engine and then a loud and rapid crack. The crash resulted in the deaths of two pilots, 60-year-old James Saucer and 60-year-old Bell helicopter instructor Stuart Dietrich, who were out for an instructional flight that day. And Pennsylvania's Republican Doug Mastriano is projected to win the GOP primary for governor in one of the nation's most important swing states. Mastriano is a state senator who was endorsed by former President Donald Trump. He's now set to face Democratic State Attorney General Josh Shapiro in November. The possibility of far-right Mastriano's nomination had panicked some Republicans in the state who feared he'd be rejected by suburban moderates and independent voters. Mastriano was an early supporter of Trump's effort to overturn the 2020 election. The Republican Governors Association has released a statement overnight acknowledging his nomination, but they stopped short of congratulating him. Coming up, the latest efforts on Capitol Hill to address domestic terrorism following that mass shooting in Buffalo last weekend. But first, when we come back, it's all about the weather as we check in with Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter, who has the latest forecast. Stay right there.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
Celebrate the end of school and say hello to summer with a day of fun activities for children in the Jamestown area. Hosted by Collaborative Children's Solutions and the City of Jamestown. The first part of the day happens at the Northwest Arena as we ring in summer vacation with a party featuring snacks, music, and more. In addition, several groups will be on hand speaking with both kids and parents about the plethora of activities available to keep our youth occupied. Then later in the evening, finish out the home run day with a night of fun at the Tarp Skunk baseball game, along with a fireworks show at Russell Dietrich Jr. Park. As a PE teacher, I know the importance of keeping kids busy this summer, so stop on down on Friday, June 24th, as we celebrate the end of school and say hello to summer. You can learn more online at ccsolutions716.com and watch for updates on the Collaborative Children's Solutions Facebook page.
Slow down. Slow down and move over. Move over.
When you see signs,
Lights. Vests.
please give us some room.
Slow down. Slow down and move over. When you need help,
It's our job
to help you.
to save you.
Despite the danger.
This danger.
This danger is real. Do your part.
Please
Slow down. Slow down. And move over.
move over.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
Fast, accurate, and everyday. First Defense Weather.
Well, welcome back. And man, it was a chilly start to the day this morning. These were the low temperatures across the region. 37 here in town, also in Warren, 32 in Clymer at Friesen, even 36 Randolph, 36 also in Olean. So again, there was some patchy frost across the inland areas today. So again, that's why we had that frost advisory up last night and then through the morning hours. HD News Now Cam showing you a lot of sunshine downtown with a few of these puffy white clouds moving on through. We are at 57 as of noon hour right now with a light wind at 6. It's variable. So all in all, it's not a bad day. Temperatures are still below average, but at least it's not too chilly and not too warm at that. Today, actually, for at least the early part of the afternoon, and now, you know, if you have a tea time for the afternoon hours, might be a little bit wet as we go through the later afternoon. So 63 at 2 o'clock. So really between 2 and 4, I think will be your best window. Now until about 4 o'clock will be your best window, but wait until 12:30 after the show. Don't go out now. So 64, and then by the time we go into 6 o'clock, we'll see a better chance for rain showers. So again, just keep that in mind if you have a tea time for today. But man, the summer heat returns. Look at this. We go from 67 tomorrow to 84 on Friday and Saturday, and then we're back down to 66 on Sunday as a cold front arrives. But it's not just the heat, it is the humidity. Of course, this time of the year, we can't have warmth without humidity. Just how it goes. And look at the muggy meter. We go into that humid category for Friday and Saturday. We'll knock it back down as we go into Sunday. As that cold front moves through, it will turn much cooler again for the second half of the weekend and into early next week. High pressure is still over the area, so you're starting to see some of the rain starting to fall apart a little bit, but this is a weak area of high pressure. So ultimately, all this rain and this front's going to kind of move on and kind of replace that high pressure, and that's going to bring us the rain showers later on. So you can see future scans showing you those rain showers arriving later on this afternoon. Again, the better chance for these rain showers would be about 4, 5 o'clock would be the better chance to see some of these rain showers. Then that'll continue through the overnight hours. We may hear a little rumble of thunder through the overnight hours and maybe some moderate to heavy downpours as well. The better chance of rain tomorrow is going to be in the morning. Will turn drier for the afternoon with partly to mostly sunny skies peaking out for Thursday afternoon. And then by the time we go into Friday, we'll see our next chance of rain as the humidity really comes up along with the heat. So 52 at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Again, that'll be our better chance for rain showers. 61 at noon, turning partly to mostly sunny for the rest of the afternoon with temperatures in the upper 60s. Now the next 7 powered by Ultimate Satellite Solutions. So again, take a look at the heat with pop-up storms on Friday. We'll keep a chance for scattered showers and storms in the forecast for Saturday. A couple of those storms, Justin, could be a bit on the stronger side. So we're keeping to watch those. A few storms on Sunday with the front, and then more refreshing air as we go into early next week and drying out as well.
Yeah, this trend, I mean, I know we're going to have to look into this question, but it almost seems like it's kind of historic in the sense of the last 3 months. It's been this roller coaster of up and down temperatures. We really haven't had a pretty consistent pattern. You know, obviously now that we're into spring, it's warmer. It's not like 40 degrees or what we would consider to be the warmth, but wow, it's just here we are. It's spring, and this is kind of what we see. Dakota, thank you very much. Well, some headlines across the nation, and it's connecting right here at home. Days after the deadly mass shooting at the supermarket in a predominantly black neighborhood in Buffalo, lawmakers now pushing for change. The Domestic Terrorism Prevention Act of 2022 is up for a vote today. As its name, it indicates the bill is aimed at preventing domestic terrorism and fighting violent extremists by white supremacists. How? Well, it will set up on officers focused on domestic terrorism at the Department of Homeland Security, the Department of Justice, and the FBI. They would track and analyze domestic terrorist activity with the goal of preventing it rather than just reacting to it after the fact. The bill would also call for a report twice a year on the threats we face with a specific section for white supremacists and neo-Nazis. Once the bill passes the Democratic-controlled House, as expected, it'll head to the Senate for consideration, but how it'll do there still isn't clear. Well, young children may soon be able to get a COVID-19 booster shot. The FDA is expected to authorize Pfizer boosters for children ages 5 to 11. An official familiar with the plan says the authorization could come as early as this week. Pfizer requested emergency use authorization for its booster at the end of April. The company claims its data showed a third vaccine dose raised Omicron-fighting antibodies by 36 times those in the 5 to 11 age group. An advisory committee for the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is also expected to discuss COVID-19 vaccine boosters when they meet on Thursday. And as New Yorkers look towards this nicer weather and Memorial Day weekend on the horizon, many will be firing up their grills for the first time in months. And the Firefighters Association of New York is recommending that people follow some basic rules and tips to avoid accidents and injuries. According to the National Fire Protection Association, on average, nearly 20,000 patients per year from 2014 to 18 went into emergency rooms because of injuries involving grills. Nearly half of the injuries were thermal burns, including burns from both fire and contact with hot objects. Now, children under the age of 5 accounted for an average of 2,000 or 39% of these contact-type burns per year. These burns typically occur when someone's bumped into, touched, or fell on the grill with parts that are hot or the coals. Now, keep in mind it's important to keep the grill away from your house, your children, and pets, at least 3 feet away from the grill area. And be sure to keep that clean, too, and never leave it unattended. Well, next, what many community members are doing to spread awareness about a neurodevelopment disorder. We check in with a family here in Chautauqua County who's part of the push.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Visit the Northwest Arena on Friday, June 24th, as we celebrate the end of school and say hello to summer. Learn about activities available to youth in the Jamestown area, plus end the night with fireworks at the Tarp Skunks game. Learn more online at ccsolutions716.com.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
This month, many community members are beginning to wear teal. The reason why? To spread awareness about Tourette's syndrome. Our Bronson Rasmussen spoke to a local family that's plagued by this disease.
Tourette's syndrome is a rare mental disorder that causes its victims to suffer from uncontrollable tics, which, as Samantha Holmberg explains, can come in many audio or visual forms.
A simple motor tic would be something as simple as blinking your eyes or rolling your thumb, things like that. A simple vocal tic could be coughing or clearing your throat, which most people don't realize that that's considered a vocal tic. It's a sound or something that they need to perfect, almost like scratching an itch that you have.
The point of Tourette's Awareness Month, to educate community members about the disability and hopefully cause less judgeful behavior and inspire others to help, which is a hurdle for the Holmbergs, along with other situations.
Sometimes just recognizing that the person has Tourette's and that recognizing they're having an uncomfortable situation. If you can talk to them, if you can say, hey, use my science book, or hey, don't worry about that, I'll get that.
Tourette's can affect anyone and usually shows up before the age of 18.
I feel like it just makes me more tired and everything and harder to focus, but other than that, I don't think it really affects it too much personally.
The Holmbergs, in association with many local organizations, are working towards raising awareness and fundraising for their cause.
So we are doing a fundraiser through Falconer Printing and Design, and all of the profit from that is going to the Tourette's Association of Greater New York area.
The Tourette's Association puts on all sorts of events for those affected by Tourette's. Usually the group puts on things that those with the syndrome can't normally attend, like movie nights, bowling, and going to theme parks. For those who would like to learn more about Tourette's or how to help out those there with it, the Holmbergs suggest contacting them at their event Facebook page or to support them through their events and their store. In the studio, Bronson Rasmussen, WNY News Now.
All right, Bronson, thank you very much for sharing that with us today. And that's the thing, it's a lot of people have some sort of pre-existing ailment, whether that would be Tourette's or autism. I know we've talked about that on the show quite a bit, and you can still live a awesome life. And just because you have something like that, like a learning disability or something in the way, it doesn't define who you are as a person. So really great to see them continuing that, and good luck with their efforts. Of course, Bronson will have a link for more on how you can help later on at WNYNewsNow.com. That's it for us today. We'll leave you with this live look over downtown Jamestown. Have a wonderful day. See you back here tomorrow, live at noon.